Can you think back over your life? Kind of last question, quote unquote, maybe we'll say. Um, is there a question or a conversation that you would say that has impacted you the most or made a significant contribution on the ultimate destination or direction of your life?
Yeah, that's a good one. A couple come to mind. Let me ponder for a second which one would be most serving. I think one stands out just right now in the moment is I had a conversation with a buddy of mine while I was early in the beginnings of this fire your boss story, living it out. And one of the things that he had said is I didn't realize at the time, but he asked me, he said, you've been really successful up until this point, but by enduring hardship of whether in your personal life or in your career life. And if you've been this successful being this miserable, think of how great you'd do and be if you could choose to be in an environment, place that you could actually thrive. And it was really like perplexing of like, hold on, what? And what he was exposing was less about the place I worked or what was happening. And it was again back to these deeper questions of how much of my life, work, my outlook, call it a mindset, my lenses, the goggles I put on every day through which I view the world, how much of those were in a prevention mindset, trying to prevent bad things from happening, or managing people and things and circumstances in my life to try and kind of line up enough. So it reminds me of like the in Vegas when you pull those slot machines and you're trying to get all cherries to line up,
Yeah.
um, versus the idea of there's a mindset called promotion or causation, where you're actually instead of managing and prevention, you're actually causing and promoting good things. And what I could tell from that question was kind of like the string that unraveled other things for me was how much of my life I had spent in energy towards prevention. I'm trying to prevent bad things from happening versus causing good things to happen. And one is feels much riskier, especially at the time it did, of like if I put all of my energy, focus, attention, time, resources, prayers, whatever you want to call it, towards causing something good to happen, well, that is risk because you don't know if it will. Versus I'd realized how much time I had spent towards the prevention of the next bad thing. And it felt like an equation that I'd learned through patterns in life to just make sure hey, I don't want to feel that pain again that I felt last time. So maybe I could prevent the next one. And it just ended up being a loop. And I find that's actually shared by a lot of people, that it's much easier and sensible even to spend energy, time, towards prevention versus causation. And that was a big, huge shift for me and still something I'm experimenting with and finding new ways. But definitely for us, what's really amazing about the world that we do live in is there's a blinking cursor, as Rob Bell says, of our life that's just sitting there waiting for us. And the invitation is, what are we going to do with it? What are we going to write? And in the book, I wrote about, there's a Walt Whitman quote about the powerful play goes on. And what will your verse be? What verse will you contribute? And so to me, that's a more inviting question, is what will my verse be? What will I choose to cause?
Excellent. A ton of content and information to think about. Thank you so much, Aaron, for being here on the show, sharing your
Thanks,
insights and your
John.
wisdom. What is the best way for people to connect with you, find out more about the work that you do, and to stay in touch?
Yeah, aaronmchugh.com or Work Life Play podcast, either of those. So if you type in Work Life Play, you'll find me. Type in Aaron McHugh, MCHUGH, you'll find me. Yeah, and there's everything from a couple hundred podcasts to free download guides, and everything from road trip guides to how to keep going and learning to pace yourself in life. Yeah, and my book is on Amazon, wherever you find books, in Audible form as well.
I'll put links to all those in the show notes. Again, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, man. It's great.
And thank you all for listening. And until next time, develop yourself, empower others, and lead by example.